This is Class A airspace. Beginning at 18,000 feet, it's normally reserved for the big jets. Most small single-engine planes can't even reach these altitudes. But what if I told you that a glider, a plane without an engine, can reach into this airspace and even outclimb its 60,000-foot ceiling? In my last video, I went over how gliders can accomplish some pretty insane flights. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about one specific way that they do so: wave flying. Wave lift occurs when strong, steady winds encounter a mountain range or other large geographical feature, forcing air upward. As air flows over the obstacle, it creates oscillating waves in the atmosphere that can extend for hundreds of miles downwind. These waves can rise tens of thousands of feet above the surface, often reaching into the stratosphere under the right conditions. To harness wave lift, glider pilots position themselves in the upward moving section of the wave. The primary lift zone is typically marked by smooth, laminar airflow, which contrasts to the turbulent rotor zones found near the surface below the wave. Wave flying is a completely different ballgame when it's compared to typical thermal, ridge, or convergence lift. As I mentioned before, it can sometimes reach as high as the stratosphere, which begins anywhere between 20 and 60,000 feet, depending where you are on the globe. When you realize that these altitudes are beginning to rival those of the U-2 and SR-71, a number of risks start to become apparent. First of all, the air is so thin at these altitudes that it's not breathable. Consider that U-2 and SR-71 pilots wore what are essentially spacesuits when flying. Glider pilots normally use cannulas and pressurized oxygen to prevent hypoxia. But above 25 or 30,000 feet, these devices become ineffective. At extreme altitudes, face masks similar to what fighter pilots wear are used. Another big issue at high altitude is temperature. If it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit at sea level and a standard adiabatic lapse rate is present, the temperature will be negative 20 degrees or colder at 18,000 feet. At 60,000 feet, the temperature will be about negative 70 degrees regardless of surface temperature. This is cold enough to almost immediately give a person hypothermia and frostbite. The solution is normally a combination of thick clothing and electrically heated socks and gloves. One of the most dangerous problems with extreme altitude flights is the bends. If a glider ascends to high altitude too quickly, bubbles of nitrogen can begin to form in the pilot's blood. This is incredibly painful and requires immediate medical attention. So how high can wave really go? You may have heard of the Perlin project, an Airbus-backed project to send a glider up to 90,000 feet. Since the 2000s, they've flown some pretty insane flights, beating their records over and over again for the highest glider flight. They've already completed flights as high as 76,000 feet in an Argentina wave. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about why they can't go past this 90,000 foot barrier, so be sure to subscribe so you won't miss that video. I'm Henry from FSW Aviation, and I'm a 16-year-old glider pilot from Hood River, Oregon. I'm hoping to educate people on how amazing gliders are and encourage them to fly. We just hit 1,000 subscribers recently, and I'm looking forward to continue this journey with you guys. Thank you to those who have subscribed. If you enjoyed this video and haven't already subscribed, be sure to do so. Thanks for watching and happy flying.